I'll grab the tips just at the temples here, and I'll comb them down along the negative y-axis. And I'll do a quick puff roots. And then using the M hotkey, I'll just add a bit of randomness to the strands themselves. Might be a little too much of a kink, as is right here. We really want to try and keep them trending in a general direction. And we don't want to have too many aggressive switchbacks if we can help it. Okay, there's a couple more to deal with on this side, and then I've got to work on the other side of the head. There's a couple look like they're just kind of hidden inside of the ear here, so let's grab those two. What we could do with these two is probably scale them down a touch, because the hair behind the ear really shouldn't be that long. So let's actually comb this back along the negative z-axis, and I'll do a puff roots, and then I'll do a scale on top of that just to size them down. In the end, I'll grab the tips with the M hotkey and pull them back something like that. Okay, so there's a couple more pieces here that could probably just fit in. It's looking good there. I think we've got all the pieces accounted for, and I'll finish off with this side of the head. I'll move into a shaded mode, headlight here, and begin tuning. So with the last pieces, we'll grab the hair tip, comb down along the negative y-axis, and then just do a little bit of tweak point modeling with the M hotkey. Follow suit with a couple of these other pieces of hair. I'll start by combing these guys back up over top of the ear. And just again, try and get the gesture looking a bit more correct. You can grab this tip. By the way, the tip hotkey is the apostrophe key. So I'll comb back along negative Z. I'll do a quick puff roots. And use the M key again just to fine tune. So the bottom four, I'll move into tip mode with the apostrophe key and just highlight the individual tips. Now remember, this isn't ray casting, so I can accidentally grab hair around the back side if I'm not careful. So I'll comb these down along the negative y-axis, do a puff roots, and then add a little bit of variation. Press spacebar and M to activate the tip selection mode. And finally finish off with these last couple of pieces inside the ear. Not bad there. These last three pieces move into tip mode. Comb back along the negative z-axis. Do a quick puff. And then do a little bit of alignment with the M key. Alright. If I look at the operator stack for my hair, I've got a lot of operators in the modeling stack that I want to bake in. So I'll select the hairs and freeze the modeling stack. And if I want to have a look at the hair, I'll press enter. and switch from the guide hairs, which I'm currently looking at, to the render hairs. And you can see how the hairs are all trending in a specific direction. If I increase the number of render hairs to 100%, we can see all 6,500 hairs that we currently have modeled for this character's hairstyle. If I increase the number of hairs, we can fill in all of that excess detail. If there are still some problems with hairs not quite making their way out of the scalp, we can always switch back into the guide hairs mode and pull these hairs out a little further. So back into tip mode, I could even grab the tip and just do a little bit of puffing. Same thing here. And also maybe in those two hairs as well. So I'll just do a puff roots, pull those out a little more. I have so few guide hairs that I really need to push some of these lower hairs out in order for the interpolated hairs to show up properly. So if I switch back to a render hairs mode, you can see that we do end up filling in a lot more of the hairs than we had before. I just need to work with up here now. So I'll switch back to guide hairs mode. And I can actually almost see the hairs that need fixing. Any of the hairs that tend to come back and aim towards the scalp seem to have the problem. So I'll puff those out a little more. Do the same thing here. Press enter and switch back into the render hairs mode. And I think that's looking pretty good. On the character's right side, the hair actually looks really nice. Okay, so the hair's coming along. I'll switch back into a guide hairs mode. And now we can begin styling the hairs on the top of the head. I'll actually just take the hairs and I'll rename them. I'll call these the side of head. And I'll start by hiding these hairs before I create a hair emission on the top of the head. So I also have the side hair emitter, which I can hide as well. I'll take the top hair emitter now and grow polygons from it. Now there are a few problems I can see here with this object, namely that they're not really contouring to the head properly, so I'll just do a little bit of modeling to help fix that. And that should be good enough, I would guess. Yeah, maybe like that. If I need to, I could always add some in-between geometry right here. But I'm going to see if I can actually get away with modeling the hair with this simple polygon structure. So with this object picked, I'll freeze its history first of all and generate hair from it as a selection. And I'll begin styling the top of the head.